Hello, how's it going? I wanted to share some photos and some footage I made on a recent trip to Italy. I was out there to photograph my good friends Becky and Nico getting married in this beautiful wee town on the coast of Sicily called Taormina, and then after their wedding I travelled by myself to the other side of the island to the city of Palermo and spent a few days there. The trip was absolutely beautiful right from the very beginning, with a very early but very worth it flight first thing in the morning. I got to watch the sun mount the horizon, like come over that horizon line, which isn't something I've ever experienced in a plane before. And then as we were flying over the Swiss mountains, the sun in the morning was so harsh and created these really dramatic shadows that they looked like they were right beneath us by only a couple of 100 feet, which obviously wasn't the case, but you know, they looked so dramatic. Probably the most scenic flight I think I've ever been on in my life, to be honest. I spent the first 3 days in Sicily mainly just hanging around with Becky and Nico in their insane villa, eating pasta, drinking espresso, very casual Italy things. It was a really, really nice time. It was a very special privilege to be a part of their time for obviously such a special occasion. I obviously didn't get much footage of their actual wedding day because I was working it, but I did want to share a few of my favourite photos from my film cameras. Damn, that light just fucking went. Then it was off to Palermo via a very, very loosely scheduled train journey. And once again I found myself staring out the window for the majority of this trip, looking at these incredible coastal views and then the sun going down across the Italian countryside, and it was just incredible. I didn't really have a plan for Palermo. I mean, I did, but the plan was to just follow my instincts and kind of see what I wanted to do each day, rather than doing any kind of sightseeing or particular photo chasing, you know. I was spending a lot of my time wandering the cobbled streets and the ancient markets of Palermo and Capo, which are two of the kind of bigger and busier, more frantic markets that they have to offer out there in Palermo. Obviously they have fantastic food, some really fascinating characters, and this one time a guy wrestling a police officer to the ground. Before I went to the markets, I started each morning with an espresso from Bar del Capo. The guy that ran at Palo was fascinating to watch. He has all these little mannerisms to sling in one cup of coffee after the other, and the espresso cups would pile high because so many people were just coming in. He would serve them an espresso, they would drink the espresso and go, and he would add them to the mountain. You know, it was a magical little spot. I really enjoyed spending my morning time there. One of the things I couldn't get over in the markets was how shoulder to shoulder everyone seemed to be walking around, yet Vespas still managed to find a way to weave in between the heavy foot traffic, and it was just always so shocking watching someone come down on a vehicle.
Padelle, pane la pizza! Ragazzi, buongiorno, prego! Buongiorno signore!
I found the contrast between the markets and the streets to be really interesting. While the streets weren't dead by any means, just comparing them to the markets made them feel really relaxing and quite a nice detox from such a busy, kind of frantic morning. And I would spend my afternoons walking around these streets, and they're so dense, you know, it's so tightly packed, so you could spend all day or all afternoon walking around and you've barely travelled at all when you look at it on a map, which I wasn't doing, you know, I was just allowing myself to get lost, and it was great.
Foi não te cerca que faz-me l'ultima volta, faz-me crede-me, foi não te cerca que
At the end of my days, I would come back to the apartment, usually with 2 kinds of lemonade for some reason, and honestly, I would do very little. I would write for a bit about the day, some ideas that I'd maybe had walking around, and then maybe read anywhere between 2 to kind of 5 seconds for this clip. And I would end most nights editing my film photos from America, which I'm still trying to turn into a zine of some kind. And that would fill my nights. I would spend a few hours doing that. And then I would go get pizza every night that I was there. I literally ate nothing else. And that wraps up my trip to Sicily. Italy has been one of my favourite places to travel in recent years. It always fills me with this romanticism for life. I think it always fits quite nicely with my desire for a slower pace and a more conscious way of living. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe and all that stuff. And if you absolutely fucking loved it, please share it around. I deleted Instagram recently, so I could use a hand in getting it seen by as many people possible. Apparently you don't even need to actually share the video. Apparently if you just copy the link, that's enough to trick YouTube into thinking that people did actually enjoy it. So maybe do that. But if you can share it with an actual human, that would be very appreciated. So yeah, just send it to as many people as you can. Send it to your mum. If you don't, I will. Huge thanks again to today's sponsor, Becky and Nico's wedding. I loved every minute of my trip, and I truly can't wait to get back to Italy as soon as I possibly can. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.